record, the 25-year-old from Longyan, Fujian in China, is absolutely special. Do not believe that ranking of 5. It is, it's well below his potential. It's quite obvious that he is significantly better than that. Let's have a look at his progress to this particular stage. And he had no problems in the first round, 9-11 against the Israeli, and also against the very young, promising Thai Tanongsak Semsumbunsuk, 16-12. That was a great victory. Dicky Falyama upset his compatriot Bao Chunlai in the first, and then he absolutely hammered him, 11-11. The only problem he's had is with Conchoro, to be quite honest, and that was in the semi-final, and he took him 3 games to subdue Conchoro, and of course Conchoro was his opponent in the final in 2007 in Kuala Lumpur. 15 in the final there. Okay, well, Chen Jin, what can you say about him? He's the quiet assassin as far as I'm concerned. I think he is a fabulous player. He really hangs in there. He's taller than he looks from the side. He's ranked 2 at the moment. Look at his age, 23. The future is certainly very well in his hands, and in the Chinese badminton circles, they think the world of this man, I tell you. Chen Jin has an extraordinary ability to rise to the occasion, and of course that is the secret when you want to really be noticed in this world of badminton. Kashyap took him to 10-21 in the second round, and the Indian boy did a really good job in testing him, but other than that he has not really been stretched. And I must say that semi-final against Taufik Hidayat, we've talked about it since, it was just an annihilation. It was so sad to witness Taufik's demise. 21-16 and then 21-6. He was not interested. What do you think about this one, Jill? Does Chen Jin have a chance?
Yes, he certainly does, because the last time that they met each other was actually in the quarterfinal of the Indonesian Super Series event, and Chen Jin won on that occasion 3 games. And I have to say, I watched that match in Jakarta, and Lin Dan in the 3rd game didn't look interested. Chen Jin won 21-4 in the deciding game. I hope and I believe that Lin Dan will be a lot more interested today in the fact that he could make history. There's one thing that concerns me though, John. This is a super opening rally, incidentally. I mean, just extraordinary. Absolutely brilliant from the start. The one thing that concerns me is that Lin Dan has come out on court with his left knee heavily strapped. Now, he wasn't wearing that strapping yesterday. I haven't seen it throughout the competition. And my mind is taken back to the All England final when these two met each other in the All England last year, 2008, when Chen Jin was the winner. And there was a lot of controversy and a lot of speculation about that final, because of course Chen Jin's victory certainly helped him qualify for the Olympic Games in Beijing.
There is always murmurs, political murmurs about this, that and the other. Obviously, when you have such a supreme group of athletes like the Chinese badminton team, you're always going to get accusations of favoritism here and there, or instructions from the central organizing coaching team about what to do, where to do, how to do it. We've had lots and lots of things written about those things, but I believe this is a free and open competition right here, the World Championships. How can you say, you know, take it easy, we want this, that and that guy? I think All England different perspective because of the reason you said, getting into the Olympics. But Chen Jin, I tell you, I was so impressed with him. He just wore Taufik down in that semi-final, and there was nothing that the Indonesian could do. And this guy really has such resilience. I believe he has the ability to beat Lin Dan.
Yeah, without question. And I mean, that was proved by the fact that he beat Lin Dan in the Indonesian Open. But the fact that Lin Dan has got his knee strapped, the fact that he went the full distance in that colossal match against Sonny Dwi Conchoro in the semi-final yesterday, 1 hour and 3 minutes. I just wonder whether that's taken its physical toll. We see strapping we see the fact that
Yeah.
he has obviously physically pushed himself to the limit yesterday, whereas in contrast, as you've pointed out already, Chen Jin had a very, very convincing and physically easy match against Taufik
He's
Hidayat.
fresh. He's fresh.
Yep.
That's the important thing. Just going on from that point about the knee, the first rally finished with Lin Dan going down on that left knee, and he was really concerned for just a moment. Of course, these are athletes, and you know better than most. You know, when you're in the World Championship final, you do not feel as much pain. There's no doubt that you've got one crack at it, okay? But there's no doubt if it really does inhibit movement, then you've got a problem.
Well, I have to say, I know it's very early stages, but watching Lin Dan move so far in this match, there is no sign that he's got a real injury problem. Let's hope that the strapping on the knee is more of a preventative measure.
He's got the lead at 4-2 in the first. This is excellent. This is absolutely superb. And again, he pushed him wide and then dragged him in onto that left knee, and that was not a comfortable fall. Ooh, and he tried to, did you see the way he tried to save it? Normally he would go flat. That time he tried to prevent going down onto the patella of the knee. Oh dear, now that was disappointing. Lin Dan happy to accept that gift. Yeah, he's just pushing him around a little bit. And I just wonder whether Lin Dan has the odd little moment of doubt.
Yeah, it's very much Chen Jin's style, though. He always pushes opponents to all four corners of the court. He doesn't have the same sort of flair and ability to suddenly inject pace of movement and pace of shot and the athletic, dynamic style of Lin Dan. He relies on his physical fitness, his stamina, and his ability to really make opponents work.
Well, 2 errors from Lin Dan at the net. They weren't even close to the tape. 5-all. Of course, we're all reading in the Times of India today about the ambition of Xi Jinping and Lin Dan. Want to settle down. In fact, Xi Jinping is saying that it's her last tournament, and she wants to win this one, and then just settle down and have lovely little badminton babies. Extraordinary. Would you like to be on that team? Goodness me. You'd have a little bit of pressure on you to have a badminton racket at very young age, I think.
Yeah, probably like Andre Agassi and Steffi Graf's children will be under severe pressure to do well in some sport or other.
Yeah, or Beckham's son has to sing his way to the soccer game. It's, yeah, well, but these would be really, really famous young children, I can tell you that. Because Lin Dan is worshipped in China.
Oh,
Good boy.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Suddenly, in that rally, a little more urgency in the defending champion. Willing to attack, wanting to dictate the pace. Yeah, I'm just looking at that movement again. I mean, the way he moves around the court is just lovely to watch. And in all honesty, there didn't seem to be a problem, but of course he wasn't landing on his left leg. When he jumps backwards, he's landing on his right leg.
Just gone. Good, yeah, and again he just pumps that fist. Little celebration there of a good read. Ooh, it was tight. Golly. 8-6. Good stuff.
Super. And this is one of the things about Lin Dan. He never seems to panic. A lot of players, having seen their opponent come forward to the net and go for the kill, would have virtually given up on the rally, but not Lin Dan. Stays calm. It's going wide.
He's putting pressure on now. It took a little while to settle, but at 10-6, Lin Dan beginning to have it his way. He's working out what it will take to put pressure on. It doesn't matter. I mean, Chen Jin is one of the great retrievers, one of the great chasers of the court. He can't actually pick it at the moment.
Oh, fantastic. What a smash.
They go to the break. It's 11-6 in the first, and as expected, I mean, we were obviously hoping for a really, really tight battle. It's turned out that Lin Dan has suddenly decided, after he went to 5-all, that he ought to do something about this, and his dominance both, well, in every department, not just the smashing or the net touches, but leaving the shuttle appropriately. He is in the zone. A little bit of music just to keep the tempo of the crowd up. I must say, a bit disappointing, the number of seats that are empty at the moment. Of course, we don't have any Indians in the final. We haven't had any Indian or local participants for the last couple of days, and it does affect the crowds in terms of their ability to come along and support. It's been a little bit disappointing on that score. Great pick up, great follow up, good score. Now 7-11. The key is definitely back in the lock, and he's got to try to open this door. And whether or not he can manage that, I don't know, because I think Lin Dan has got his foot firmly against it as well.
Good disguise on the little net block there from Chen Jin. Lin Dan backpedaling, looking for the lift.
Wow, the key is more than in the lock. He's turned it 3 points in a row, and at 9-11, certainly he will be hoping to just push against it a little bit harder. This is very good. This is a good comeback.
Oh, superb. What's extraordinary to me about Lin Dan, I mean, he produces a a rally like that, and yet the previous rally, you know, I thought he was almost being lazy. He turned and played a high backhand when normally you'd expect players to play what we call the round the head shot, keeping playing with the forehand action. But he has this ability, you know, he won 5 straight points from 6-all to go to the mid-game interval, and then he seems lazy for 3 points, but that's his style. You know, he has this ability suddenly to win points almost at will. I wish I'd been able to win points at will. You know, I had to work so hard rally after rally, whereas he seems to have this ability, when he wants to turn it on, he just turns it on and he wins points. Phenomenal.
Done it again. He allowed Chen Jin just that little 3-point moment of hope, and he's just grabbed them all back again. Such a mean player. Oh, that is absolutely stunning. Opens it up, didn't finish it off. He's missed one there, coming back onto his what could have been, as you said, a backhand. It was nothing. There was nothing happening there, and it didn't.
No.
I mean, just the fact that there was nothing happening, probably he lost interest.
But you have to wonder why he didn't go for. You know, you noticed when he had opened up the rally, why on earth didn't he finish it off?
Yep. That's out. He's hanging in here, just 3 points the difference. (11-14). Good work. Superb stuff.
That was a terrific angle. He really got up early to the shuttle. The higher you take the shuttle, the more angle you can get on the shot, bringing it down even steeper.
At 12-14. And again, having to wait just a moment because Lin Dan wasn't quite ready. Again, in itself, that's quite unusual. Now, that is an error. That's a big error from Chen Jin. He didn't need to be so tight. His strength is keeping the rally going and then finding the gaps. He didn't need to kill it so quickly. What's going on here, Jill?
No, I'm not quite sure. Was there a flashlight camera in the background or something?
Maybe. I didn't think brownie boxes had flashlight. (13-15), and again Chen Jin just nibbling at the heels. Great net shot. Opened it up. Good rally this. Big rally. It's a huge rally. Oh, what a shame. I say a shame. I don't have any real loyalties or favourite here, but I would have loved to have seen it won on a positive shot. He is pushing him around, and Lin Dan is worried about that left knee. We've just seen it off screen, and he was down. That left knee, I mean, he's a tough competitor. These things happen in training. They have to get up and get on with it. But Chen Jin will expose any weakness at all. It's 16-13. Lin Dan generally has been in control of this first game, but there are question marks. again he makes an error on the jump drop. That was a shame, wasn't it?
Yeah, because he had pulled Lin Dan out of position.
He didn't miss those shots yesterday against Taufik.
No.
He did exactly the same. He pushed him all around the court. A couple of dummies. And then he was precise with the execution of the shot. But those two jump shots are dear. It's 17-13. It could have been level.
Yeah, terrific.
You see, just given half a chance, and suddenly he's got what looks like an invincible lead in this first game. It's 18-13.
I think this really is just emphasising the point that you made right at the start of the match, that don't be deceived by Lin Dan's world ranking of 5, because this is actually only his 4th tournament of this year, of 2009. He hasn't been playing many tournaments, and in my opinion, he's the best player in the world at the moment. I know that the Malaysian fans will beg to differ on that front and perhaps believe that Lee Chong-wei is the best, but come the major competitions, Lin Dan, he's All England champion, he's Olympic champion, reigning world champion, and when you see him playing shots like that, which is just pure instinct, I mean, how on earth did he play that? That's extraordinary.
How did he get his racket to at number 1, but how did he then control it? I mean, milliseconds. We're not talking about anything but unbelievable reflex. And now he is arrogant with it. Stunning for 2014. And I go back to those two jump shots in the middle of this teen element of the first game, and where Chen Jin had his chance, didn't take it, and Lin Dan said, well, if you don't want it, I certainly do. It's game point in the first. Final of the World Championships 2009. He's not going to lose concentration, I'm sure, but a couple of points here might put a bit of pressure on. Another loose one. 16-20.
Yeah, that's not even close.
Okay, 17-20. 3 in a row. I still think he'll finish this one off without too much trouble. This certainly would be sensational if Chen Jin leveled it and went on to win it. That's gone. Yeah. Ooh, and it was out called, and there's going to be a sweat break here, but that really was Chen Jin putting his thumb up. Oh dear, that was a really tight one there. He came within very, very close to messing up by touching it. 18-20, 4 in a row. It's still game point though, 2 game points. The crowd being treated to a great exhibition here. It's gone, it's game, it's 21-18. Chen Jin will rue the opportunities. He fought well at the latter end of that game, but all it did was to bring a little modicum of respectability. 21-18 in the first in this World Championship final in Hyderabad. very small margins often separate the victors and the vanquished. And I think we're going to get exactly that here. Second game, Lin Dan, twice world champion, once Olympic champion, is now on his way to a third and historic world championship title.
Yeah, it was a wonderful net shot. Chen Jin trying to let the shuttle come out of the tumble, which means that he had to take it so low.
Well, if you had any doubts about him wanting to win, just look at his reaction after he misses this net shot. Ah, he's so annoyed. One's in the second. It's gone. The big problem that Chen Jin has, Joe, is that he knows he's got to be absolutely perfect to the lines, and he just overcooked that when he was in control. He got to the shot, just needed a little bit extra, and of course, so fine the difference between a great shot and rubbish. That's gone as well. Same story.
Yeah, and of course Chen Jin has got to be very careful from this near side of the court as we look down, because of the drift in this arena, and the shuttle is flying a little bit faster. Seen a number of times shuttle going out that far side.
Well, I saw Pi Hongyan. She had a pretty disappointing second game yesterday. And she said, you know, I just couldn't work out the speed. It was so difficult. It was so breezy from this end. And it's a major, major problem. I mean, the shuttle is going to get influenced by that. It's 2-3. Yet, that said, most of the games have been won from this end. Most of the games that we've covered, anyway.
Yeah.
But certainly, some of the points that we see, they have to change their strategy. They can't just lift and hope. It's 2-3. Some big moments here for Chen Jin. Oh, superb. He caressed that shuttle. Absolutely caressed it. Look at the way he cut across it, Jill.
Yeah, it was such deception, brushing across the feathers. But what was interesting in that rally, the first opportunity that Lin Dan actually had to dictate the pace or go for a winning shot instead of having to react to what Chen Jin was doing, he plays a winner. And in contrast, the number of times Chen Jin is trying to hit winners, but they just keep coming back. And I think that's one of the major differences in the styles between these two players. Styles and ability.
Yeah. It's in. Yeah, he knew he'd made the error when it got past his waist. It's 3-4. It's not charity, but yeah. It was over. Chen Jin's shot was magnificent there. He had no room to work in. Look at that. Oh, wonderful.
That's what you call perfection.
Couple like that and put a bit of pressure on Lin Dan. He's got such an exuberant personality. He loves to be top of the tree, pressure is what we're looking for now. And oh, lucky. 5-4. Chen Jin slaps the floor in frustration.
Shuttle really deflected by the net cord there, changing direction.
Was that changing direction? I always get into trouble for playing with people's names, but sorry about that, Joe. That is coming in off the breeze. Oh, yes. Wonderful. You know, he read the breeze beautifully there as well. It looked as if it might go marginally out, but Lin Dan knew he had to play it and then finished up with an absolute cracking backhand. Beautiful stuff for 5-all. Well, I don't mind telling people here, Jill, that you've actually written a little note there to say that Chen Jin will win. Oh, now that's a bold statement. How dare you do that? That's how you dare, because you know that Chen Jin's ability, stickability, 80 minutes is nothing for him. And if he just hangs in here and wins his second game, I don't think I could argue with you.
They're both very, very fit athletes. There's no question about that. But to be honest, the number of unforced errors such as that one from Lin Dan is very, very uncharacteristic.
It's in. It's a fantastic lift. It's a very poor judgment from Lin Dan. And again, he's just gone into a little dip. He's like a surfer, getting back through the surfer game. Once he's riding high, coming to shore, everybody just absolutely is mesmerized by his skills. But coming back through the waves again, he finds life a little bit tougher. 6-8. Chen Jin can't afford to blow this. He has. But that was a real poor option, Jill. I'm afraid he was in that. He was in control of the rally. Okay, it was a great drop shot, but so frustrating. Really poor shot, that. I mean, how many times would he get that shot to ground?
Yeah, well, certainly in the opening game there was no question. Lin Dan was controlling the front of the court, controlling the net play, and when a player is doing that, as soon as you start taking, as an opponent, as soon as you're forced to take the shuttle low, you certainly don't try and play back to the net. The one thing you've got to do is lift it to the back of the court, because you know your opponent has dominated from the front in the opening game.
The annoying thing about that is he'd done it perfectly for the majority of the shots. Bye-bye, that's good. That's 9-7. You know, he's upping the tempo a little bit, and he's trying to put a bit of pressure on. He's chasing around quicker with the movement of his feet. You saw that. And then, well, there was no doubt who was going to win the final moment. 9-7. And this is shaping up to be a real duel in this men's singles here in Hyderabad. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, it was a well-constructed rally that time from Lin Dan. Pushed Chen Jin deep into his forehand corner before bringing him forward to that backhand net, which Chen Jin then made the mistake on. I have to say I'd like to see Lin Dan up the tempo and play the sort of quality of badminton that he was playing in the opening game. He just seems to have relaxed a little too much or gone off the boil, and that has allowed Chen Jin back into this.
It's 9-all in the second. Lin Dan took the first, 21-18. That's a great shot. It was not quite deep enough from the net. Lined up there. And for all you youngsters, watch the way that, well, we won't see it there again, but the way he sets himself and the non-striking arm sights it. It goes high, Jill, doesn't it? You can't play a shot like that and keep both arms or one arm ready to strike. You've got to get the balance, and the balance will come out of the left, obviously the right-hander, the left arm being raised and creating that perfect position. We'll have a look at it in a minute. Even Lin Dan does it right there. You see the way that he's left-handed, but his right arm comes up high, takes the sight and the poise in his body, trying to create balance. It's all about feeling in as good a position as possible as you play the shot. And of course, you've got time when it comes to the baseline. Tens. Great drop. They go to the break. It's 11-10. A little shake of the head by my co-commentator, Gillian Clark, and I think she's got something to say.
Yes, well, in my opinion, Lin Dan needs to really up the pace here. I mean, he's got the chance of making badminton history, and he's not showing to me the determination or the want, the real need that most athletes show, not in this second game. Now, you know, it may be that his strategy is just to try and wear down his opponent. I'd find that very odd if that's what he's trying to do, because I think Chen Jin is probably one of the fittest athletes as far as stamina is concerned in world badminton. And therefore I just don't understand why Lin Dan isn't using his real qualities, which is upping the pace and injecting pace of movement and pace of shot into his play.
And trying to finish it off a little bit sooner.
Yep.
Another example there. He's just content to keep, and the lift is actually a defensive shot, isn't it? 12-10. Again, the non-racket holding arm comes into play brilliantly with that drop shot. It all adds to the deception, the way in which you set your body for the strike. That's gone. Way gone. Gee whiz. Chen Jin wants the shuttle changed. He can't believe. Does he? Well, it's still there, 11-12. That's gone. Look, using the backcourt clears, really, just to stay in the rally. It's a strange one here, and as you say, that's not what we normally associate with Lin Dan. No,
that's right, and it's you know, obviously these two players play and train together on a daily basis, probably twice or three times a day, so they know each other's styles inside out. But, you know, when I compare it to the two semi-finals that we witnessed yesterday, you know, the fact that they are using the clears and keeping each other to the back of the court says to me that there's no sort of urgency about the style of play. And we are, after all, talking about a World Championship final. And of course, two players from the same nation, the crowd doesn't get involved in the same way. Two Chinese players. It is actually only the second time in World Championship history that there's been two Chinese men's singles finalists. So China is guaranteed of winning the men's singles title for the 9th time in the 15 World Championships in which they've competed. So there's been a huge amount of Chinese success. But, you know, obviously, as far as the crowd is concerned, it's a little bit flat. But I'd like to see, you know, I'm just feeling that I'd like to see something more like that.
Yep.
The urgency of Chen Jin suddenly saying, right, I'm going to end this rally. You know, the early stages of this second game, I feel that the players have almost been flattered in the way they've approached it. And I hope that it just sort of livens up a bit more now, because we're getting to crucial stages.
I think you've echoed what a lot of people are thinking at home as well. We need to see more real challenging, aggressive badminton from these boys. And that was short at the net. And it doesn't matter that if they make an error or two like that, at least there was an attacking shot. You mentioned about the China. The last time there was that was in 2006. Lin Dan won it, of course, in Madrid. We had the great privilege of working together on that one. And Bao Chun Lai took him close for the first couple, and then he ran out 21-12 in the third. But that went for 57 minutes as well. So it was a big effort. 50 minutes against Conchoro last time out in 2007 in Kuala Lumpur. So they have a habit of going on a little bit, these finals. Maybe it's the need not to make an error. Ah, he could have finished it there with a cross court. It's great badminton. I mean, now at the moment, lots of spectacular stuff.
Yeah, this is a good rally. So, they've gone into these high clears. Oh, that's dreadful indecision.
It's great. The crowd starting to applaud. It's good, it's on the line. It's a fantastic way to finish the best rally of the match.
Certainly the longest rally of the match, and the final smash finding the line. That was terrific.
You're probably looking at about 40 to 50 shots there. Didn't count them exactly. In that bronze medal, I've got a note here of a stat that it went to 60 shots, one of the rallies in that bronze medal competition last year with Lee Hyun-il and Chen Jin. 60 shots, 30 times on each side of the net. Unbelievable. Well, as long as you get excitement with it, you don't mind. What you don't want is bland play.
What I'd really love to know what the Chinese coaches you know, think when two of their players are playing each other. Of course, they don't come onto court. They leave the players to their own devices because the coaches can't show favouritism. And I'm sure the Chinese coaching staff will be sitting back thinking, well, we're guaranteed gold and silver, and being very happy with their players' performance.
They're probably downtown at the market. 16-14, jobbed. 16-14 in the second game. Lin Dan taken the first. So this could be the last one. It's 17-14. we really don't mean to be facetious, but certainly, I guess, it really is the case. If they've done their jobs to bring their charges to the final together, it's almost, you know, packing up time. That is a good shot. You don't deceive and throw a dummy at Lin Dan without playing something really special. He will be annoyed with himself. He does not like to be made a fool of. 15-17, last throw of the dice here in this second game for Chen Jin. Oh dear.
He sort of snatched at that, did Chen Jin.
He did. He went to the casino there, and I'm afraid he put all his money on one number. He should have spread it around a little bit. 18-15, 3 points from the third World Championship title. Wow. It's brilliant.
Yes, that's what we're used to seeing from Lin Dan. Well-constructed rally. And as soon as he's got the short clear, he can then play his winning shot.
19-15. Well, we had elements of doubt. Both of us had doubts whether Lin Dan's, whether his left knee fitness, whether his absolute desire. It's long, it's 20-15, whether it was there. How did we feel like that? How did we doubt his inner strength after watching him in Beijing last year under huge pressure? He's now got 5 World Championship points, and it's short. (16-20). It's a bigger mountain than Everest for Chen Jin. That's it, it's short. It is short, it is the championship. What an anticlimax. Well, wait a minute. Has it been called good? That's it, that is it. Well, I must say, Greg Vellacott had us going there. The Australian umpire was concurring ultimately, and then after a little hesitation, I'm afraid it's not the moment that commentators like, because they love to get excited at the end. Did it actually touch the line, Jill?
No, it was clearly short.
It was short. Good,
so
thank you for that.
Yeah.
But a moment then when we like to say, at the end of a World Championship, we like to get all up in the air, but a little bit anticlimactic at the end, because I tell you what, Lin Dan ultimately just relied on the odd error or two from his opponent Chen Jin, but in reality he had just a little bit too much firepower. So 3 World Championships in a row.